Welcome back to Eden Eye Tarot, where we illuminate your stars and your cards. My name is Micah. I will be your astrologer and your tarot reader today. I hope everyone has had an amazing holiday. For those of you that are in the States, happy belated Thanksgiving if you do celebrate. We are here to talk about the new moon in Sagittarius that is coming up on Saturday, November 30th. And so before we get into the breakdown of this new moon, I would just like to say if you would like to help this channel grow, if you like what you are seeing here, go ahead, give me a like, share, subscribe, all the things. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It would help me out immensely, and I would really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this. Go ahead and grab your wine, your snacks, calendars, whatever. If you are looking for the tarot card that we got for this new moon in Sagittarius, I advise you to go back to the November 24th tarot weather that I already put out. We did talk about the tarot card for the new moon in Sagittarius already. And so this video is purely going to be an astrological breakdown of the new moon. And so when we are looking at this new moons are times where things are a bit more unseen, uncertain, and times where we are looking at the beginning stages of things, where things are kind of happening in the background or they're just like kind of starting up. And so we can see more hidden feelings or things that aren't completely revealed to us. There's a lot of dreaming that's going on because things aren't tangible yet, much like the moon is. The moon can't really be seen so much, and you're having to rely a lot more on intuition, I think, with the new moon because you do not know exactly where you're going, and so you're leaning a lot more on faith, which I love that this is in the sign that has a lot to do with faith and philosophies as well as beliefs. Sagittarius is a fire sign that's also double bodied. And so we're looking at energies that are more so pulling from both Capricorn as well as Scorpio. And so we're looking at one, the ability to transform, to reflect, and create deep change. With the ambitious, goal oriented achievement that comes from Capricorn, as well as the limitations that come through trying to find and kind of grapple with that transformation and achieving that higher goal or that higher healing or higher level of achievement. And so we have this new moon actually at a 9. I know that in the picture here, the moon is at a 5, but when we do hit this new moon, the moon will actually be at a 9 as well. And so we see changes when we are looking at the moon in Sagittarius, a new moon in Sagittarius. And so it can be like the beginning stages of starting to wonder about some of our belief systems, trying to figure out what are our thoughts on changing those belief systems. And belief systems don't always have to be religious. They can be spiritual, and they can also just be about, how you approach certain things in your life. Like I know that for a long time, I, missed how Sagittarius energy was really affecting me and my belief system because I was only thinking about it as more like a religious or spiritual thing. And no, it can totally be, just kind of how you approach everyday kind of issues, such as like how you spend money or, how you approach different relationships. What do you think about how you interact with certain people, whether it be in your job or if it be with men or if it be with women, and all of that. How do you treat your friends? Do you put romantic relationships above your friendships? Do you do the opposite? All of those things are beliefs that we start to examine when we are looking at this new moon in Sagittarius, especially since it is at a 9, which is a Sagittarius degree. And so we can also look at, expanding our view as well, possibly taking on um, a less like conformative viewpoint on some of those things. Energetically, this new moon is making a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius. And it's also going to be ruled by Jupiter and Gemini. So there's a lot of conversations going on, a lot of changing your mind, or possibly some back and forth that has to do with another person, possibly another person challenging your philosophies and beliefs. Jupiter in Gemini is and not to mention also Jupiter, the planet that is ruling over this new moon, is also retrograde. When we see Jupiter retrograde, not only natally but also in a live transit such as this, we're looking at beliefs that are not normally held like traditionally, or we're reevaluating those traditional beliefs. And so, and a lot of times, at least natally, people that have Jupiter retrograde in their chart often have very different belief systems than other people, because they are constantly reevaluating. Does it make sense? Sagittarius has a lot to do with learning as well. It's higher education, and it can, really be a sign that talks about expanding the mind, not just, expanding our horizons when it comes to travel. Although travel can definitely be a big part of this new moon as well. We don't have any hard aspects, other than the fact that Mercury is retrograde, and so we can have some scheduling issues, or just like some crises that have to do with, kind of going back and redoing some sort of documents or something like that, because there is a lot of like scorpionic energy that's kind of in the background here with Sagittarius as well. And so that's why I say it's a lot about transforming our beliefs. And we also, like I was saying, we also have Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius as well. That is at a Scorpio degree at a 20. And so there is quite a bit of transformation that comes to our belief system, when it comes to like conversations with other people. Another thing that we can look at with that Mercury retrograde and new moon coming out is like, a lot of there can be like just kind of like what's the word that I'm looking for? Um there can be sometimes that where we either kind of go back to learning something that we maybe have started to learn in a prior time. We kind of return to learning something new, and we get like fresh eyes on a topic, or we can kind of come to a breaking point, or not breaking point, like a breakthrough, because we've reviewed some sort of learning material as well. It can, of course, be a time, like I was saying, that we have to go back and re-sign documents, or not re-sign documents, but like reread documents. I think, Jupiter is such a big picture energy that, a danger can be of this new moon can be being too optimistic and therefore missing some very critical details, because Mercury is details. While Jupiter is in a Mercury world sign, it is one expanding on the small details of things. And I think with the new moon, sometimes in the optimistic sign of Sagittarius, it just wants to kind of look at things in a very much it's all good kind of way, rather than leaning into those that more Mercury kind of energy that is going to look at the small details of things, look at the fine print and all of that. But Scorpio's energy, when it comes to this new moon, really encourages that. Scorpio is a lot about defense, and just kind of guarding against things, whether they're an actual threat or not. And so there is the potential to get very spicy when it comes to people challenging our beliefs, for sure. And it can also, be a new moon where we are really kind of almost blindly going after other people's beliefs, as well as holding our own without reevaluating. That can be very much of a pitfall when we're looking at this new moon, is just kind of blindly accepting certain belief systems as well. Lack of defense can definitely happen when it comes to what we are hearing from other people on what is right and what's wrong, what's legal and what's not. All of that can very much happen as well. I do wonder if something about student debt might come up in college. In college, finances, since we do have some Scorpio energy going on here at the time of the Mercury retrograde. Um, I wonder. Jupiter is going to be at a 17, which is going to be a Leo degree, and so it can just also be a lot about what kind of information are leaders sharing with us. What is the media saying? Are we taking more time to fact check or to look a little bit deeper into what is not being said in the media, or what is kind of being hidden from us as well? Um, but with that being said, that's actually all I have, guys. Pretty straight to the point. The only other thing that I will bring up is that energetically, it's also making this new moon is making a square to Saturn in Pisces, as well as energetically, it's making a square also to Neptune in Pisces as well. And so, the things that are unseen can kind of be our downfall when we're looking at this new moon, kind of skipping over the realities of a situation to kind of get to the cherry on top is kind of the visual that I get. And so it's kind of like wanting to sweep things under the rug, be like, oh, don't worry about that, that little fine print there. That's something you don't need to worry about. I think it's very much like, where are you giving your power up to leadership, or where are you giving your power up to some perceived guru or some perceived hero in a situation, when you can actually look very much look a bit closer into what is being said, and possibly find some sort of sinister meaning that is not, or some sort of sinister motives that aren't being said, or something that can just be very critical to the success or downfall of a situation. Other than that, that is actually all that I have for today. Very quick, straight to the point. But I do hope that everybody is having a wonderful, wonderful holiday season so far. I would love to hear from you. Um, Let me know down in the comments if you are excited for this new moon. It should definitely be one that I think is a bit more positive, a bit more cheery. My only thing is, like, just remember those warnings that I was talking about with the unseen things. But I do like this new moon overall. It does give very expansive energy, and so it's like big everything, big. So like overspending can also be like a big thing that I think we can see. Spending too much on credit cards as well. It's funny because I'm I'm saying that I am like, I don't have anything else, but I just keep looking at this new moon, and I'm like, oh, I need to say that as well. But I think it's very optimistic when we're looking at Sagittarius, because Sagittarius is also the teacher. It's the guru. Um, and I think energy can come out about, like, who is the authority or the expert on certain information, who truly understands what's being said. Because Sagittarius isn't the fact checker, but it is the one that deeply understands things. It is that guru on the top of the mountain that can be a bit detached from everyday nuances of the situation. And so it can be, I think a lot of the new moon can be, where are we just out of touch with certain realities, especially when it comes to people that possibly are a bit outcast, or people that are pushed aside as well. And so, yeah. With that being said, that is actually all I have. But I hope everybody's having a safe, happy holiday season. Let me know down in the comments if you are enjoying the holiday season. I know this can be a hard time for everybody. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.